GED reasoning through language arts, RLA, reading, argument. Statement that takes a position and includes supporting evidence, premises/unstated premises, assumptions, and a conclusion. Plot. Series of events of a story. Chronological order or process. Describes events and procedure, before, after, next, following, meanwhile, until. Supporting details. Include facts, examples, descriptions, and specific pieces of information that support the main idea. Conflict. Problem between characters, between a character and nature, or within a character. Figurative. Words or phrases that imply more than their literal meaning using similes, metaphors, personification or hyperbole. Synthesize. Blend. Inference. Reading between the lines, making an educated guess based on what you know and the information you are given. Restating ideas. Putting the idea in your own words. Similes. Using the words like or as to compare two things, i.e., the new sports car was like a spaceship. Writer's tone. The writer's attitude toward a subject is conveyed by the tone of the writing. Entertain. Writing to amuse or interest readers. Application of ideas/applying ideas. Using information you already know in a new but similar situation. Hyperbole. Using extreme exaggeration to make a point, i.e., I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. Graphic. An illustration, photograph, or diagram. Summarizing. Including only the most important facts and ideas to explain the main idea of a passage or piece. Narrate/narrative. Telling a story through narration or by a storyteller, blends literary elements to produce a reaction from the reader, includes characters, plot, setting, theme, elaboration. Expands with additional details, additionally, furthermore, moreover. Inference. Evidence used to guide the reader into drawing conclusions, applying logic and reasoning skills to evidence to draw conclusions. Text structures. Cause and effect, compare and contrast, example, pros and cons, chronological order, elaboration, pros and cons. Shows benefits and drawbacks, on the one hand, on the other hand. Figurative language. Words that are used to mean something other than their actual, literal meaning. Main idea. The most important point the writer is making. Style. Individual characteristics that a writer chooses and includes sentence structure, choice of words, use of images, and other devices. Persuade. Seeking to change a reader's mind and includes author's opinions, recommendations, or conclusions. Compare and contrast. Pointing out what is similar and what is different about ideas or things. Generalization. A broad statement about a group of people, objects, or things or about a type of event. Example. Organizes illustrations that support a concept, for example, for instance, such as, to illustrate. Narrator. Person telling the story. Personification. Giving human characteristics to something that is not human, i.e., the storm slashed at the windows and pounded on the doors. Conclusion. Taking pieces of information and putting them together to figure out something that the writer has not directly stated. Author's purpose. The reason why the author is writing: to narrate a story, to inform, to persuade, to entertain. Characters. People in the story. Supports for arguments. Facts, data or statistics, examples or anecdotes, authority, causality. Metaphor. A direct comparison, i.e., the new sports car was a sleek spaceship. Connotation. The meaning suggested by the word, i.e., dog, mutt, man's best friend, each connotes a specific positive or negative feeling. Point of view. Where the author is coming from, the writer's background and experiences that may affect his or her opinions. Theme. The message the author wants the reader to understand and often expresses a point of view about life. Cause and effect. When one idea or event influences another, how one thing made another thing happen. Inform. Presenting facts and data to explain a subject, situation or idea.